Hey folks, how are you today? It's July 15th. So let's take a look at today's video here. So what you're watching is today's action on the tape, July 15th, 2020. I had a bunch of trades today. And before we look at the video, let's just look at my trades. So you can see here 32 trades and win rate 65% on that one. And I ended the day with a tiny loss because of a lot of commission. So down just $11 on the day, but still. Let's get to the video. Okay, so today was a tough day and we're gonna go over some of the losers in the early part of the session. I got chopped up in the morning session a little bit, okay? And actually I should have stopped trading, but anyways, I just kind of remained my cool and then I slowly grinded myself back up and I managed to get some nice winners shorting the NASDAQ in the later part of the session, starting after 10 o'clock, and now the NASDAQ trading lower from where it was earlier in somewhat of a bear trend. So I'm gonna go over with you in this video some of my losing trades. So first of all, I still have a problem of cutting winners too early sometimes. So look at this trade right here. So this was the NASDAQ off the open and we had to move lower and then chop in this sort of trading range. And we finally had a bear break with no follow through that resulted in a bull. Now this bull caught my attention, of course, and I got long starting around these 720s because I was seeing some of this bullish momentum and I was betting that we were going to continue a little bit higher. Anyhow, I got long and I cut it way too early. So you're going to see me get long here. Let's see. There we go. So you see this long trade right here? I get filled at 7:15 and I'm watching this bullish momentum. What I did was I put in my stop too early and I stopped out the trade right away, boom, and I just stopped it out. And I just was oblivious to the fact that the market was moving up and still showing some upside momentum. So again, mistake, and it happened to me a few times today. And that's the kind of stuff that, again, you kind of have to leave in some trades. You have to cut them quick. In other trades, you need to learn how to give them a little bit of breathing room. Because if you're right, usually you'll be right pretty quickly, which means that you'll have some room in the trade to kind of watch the tape while you're in profit, of course. But see, then I end up in this sort of situation right here. Now, this is where I start to get chopped up because you can see I'm trading within this tightening range. So right there, that's a bit of a no-no. The tape is showing a bit of mixed action and volume is dropping off here, as you can see, below average volume. So those three signals together, so mixed tape, volume dropping off, and in a tightening range, for me is just calm down and don't trade. But as you can see here, I'm trading. So I got chopped up and you can see my stop's really close there. I'm looking for a bit of downside move. See, we get it. I get a downside move and then I take a bit of profit. Okay, look at this one right here. So we have this pullback down to the VWAP and the bulls are coming through to push this here, about these 724s. I'm watching these bulls come through and we're seeing some momentum. So you're gonna see me get long eventually. And there, it took me a while to realize that there was bullish momentum, but you saw that. All the way from the 720 mark, there was bulls. And you're gonna see me get long here way too late, way too late. Look at this. I get long all the way at 40. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Way too late right there. I get long right at 40 and then that's where the sellers start coming in. And then I get stopped out for my managed loss here because my stop was under 30. So I was expecting some of this momentum to come through more, but see, it comes right down to 30 and stops me out. So not a great trade there, and I had to catch that momentum much quicker. You see, I saw the momentum, you saw that momentum on the tape starting from the high 20s. And again, I had to just get in right there, no questions asked. And you're going to see me again here. Look at this. So I got short on this little mini pullback. And you're going to see I get a bit of profit. We come down to these 26s. The market's arguing with it, kind of trying for it. 24, 22. I put in my break even and I get out. And then they held it. You see? The market's having trouble with the 720s. So let's go over that trade right here. Okay, so take a look at this trade. So I get out of my long trade for a profit. And then I'm instantly looking for another long trade right here because I can see that these bulls are trying for higher prices. What we're going to see is a push up and I'm going to get long here. This is not a great area to get long, especially considering that we're in somewhat of a downtrend here. We're trying to push this. I was expecting us to push this area, but look how the sellers answer here. And you're going to see we tried for that 30 and the sellers just answered quickly and we couldn't push higher. So look at this. We're back in the 20s here. We try for a higher push up into the 30s. A little bit of size trading there. We're doing business in the 30s. And then we're trading back into the 20s very quickly. Look at that. Answered with the sell. And that was my cue to pretty much get out. And you're going to see me cut this. I think I might cut it before my stop loss. But this one was a loss for sure. So look at how these sellers are just controlling the price here. From these 25s. And then boom, sell. And then I think I cut it or I let it hit the stop. Either one. But I was wrong on the trade. There we go. And I get out. So bad trade. And I had a few of these types of trades today where I get long in front of a move that I'm expecting to happen, but again, it's not happening. Finding myself trading within these tightening ranges, just bad. It's just bad overall. So this is me trying to get long, and you can see clearly that the market is in this range here between the 700s, the lows being under the 690s, and the highs being 720. So 720 is acting as resistance, and the 690s to 700 are acting as support. It also makes sense because in pre-market there was a large amount of size that traded around these 700s on both the buy and sell side. So it is acting as somewhat of a point of interest in the market. Now, I keep saying to myself, don't trade when the market is in tightening ranges. Calm down and take a breather. Do not trade impulsive price moves when the market is in a tightening range. I'm trying to tell myself this, and I do it wrong right here. I get long right at 720. Let's look at the move. This right here is the epitome of what you should not do trading the NASDAQ the way I do. Look at this. Bull, bull, bull. We're trying to push above the view app again. So it's kind of mixed, and then we get a bull, 14, and then we get a bull. They're trying, the bulls are trying, and they're trying for higher prices, and they're trying for higher prices. I'm looking to get long there, and I get long. Right at the top here around these 720s, and look at how it quickly traded to 719.50. Look at all the size that hit into that 32 contracts, and then it immediately is trading back in at 716. That is not a good entry, okay? So that just tells you right here that if you're going to trade within tightening ranges, it's more of a limit order market. Do not get in on market orders and stop orders when the market is tightening up and trying to push right to the resistance point, because the odds are, if there were sellers sitting here before, so these are the same sellers, the sellers here and the sellers here, what are the odds that the sellers are not going to still be there if we're still in a tightening range? So don't front run the idea that the sellers are just going to not be there and we're just going to shoot straight to the moon. You need to be ready to watch how the sellers are going to behave when we get to that price, not before, okay? And that's what I mess up a lot. And it's a tricky one, right? Because when you see a price move, you want to be a part of it. But again, you need to be patient. Patience is key in scalping. So I get stopped out there for a loss with a nice pullback all the way back down. Okay, so look at this little move right here. The price is coming down, and I think the odds, if we lose 690, the odds are we come down and run a bunch of stops under this level. But again, there's a high probability of a fake out because of the amount of buyers that were sitting here before. I've seen this happen a number of times where they let the price drop and then they buy it right back up. So look, you're going to see a perfect example of that. I'm going to grab a little short here, probably a little late. So I get short, and then watch how the price comes right back up. But again, I'm looking for a further move down. We get it down to the 80s, and we're trying. Look at how they're arguing, and then I get out. Because the sellers were not convincing anything. You saw we tried multiple times to get under that price, and then the bulls answered pretty aggressively. When we had a break like that, I want to see continued selling right away. I want to see continued downside pressure. If we just broke the low of the day and we're not seeing any downside pressure, I'm not going to be short. And again, these are the kinds of decisions you have to make very quickly. If you're short and the sellers are not selling, then you shouldn't be short. If you're long and there's no buyers to push it, and there's no buyers pushing it, then why are you long? That's it. Okay, so the moral of today, so you're going to see me, I had a long trade right there, and this is a trade where I get stopped out under the 30 mark because there were no buyers to just keep it up there. So this was the kind of trading day for me that I pressed on the gas pedal too many times and not at ideal locations. I found myself getting involved in these tightening ranges way too much, and this session in particular is one that I'm going to go back and review deeper, because I had a lot of mistakes today in regards to cutting winners too early or getting involved in the market with a market order when I shouldn't really be. That type of stuff, kind of front running a bull break when the bull break is not as likely, or front running a bull break when you know that we're heading right up to resistance. So these are the kinds of things you have to perfect slowly. And it was in this range I chopped myself up a little bit too. I had a couple of long trades I got stopped out on, chopped myself, and then I finally managed to catch a bit of the long trade afterwards. And again, this kind of range right here will chop out lots of traders, that consolidation. So you have to be patient, sort of in a wedge formation. But again, the bulls are not proving much, and we sooner or later start trading lower. After this point, once it was very clear that we had this bull break with not a lot of follow through, the seller started to take advantage of this market, and I actually managed to nail some really nice shorts and make back pretty much all my losses that I had on the chop session of the morning. So that's the way it is. Now, again, like I said, this session in particular, I'm going to go back and review some of these trades where I got chopped up on, and I encourage you to do that, guys. So whenever you have trading days with mixed action or action where you weren't sure about what you're doing or where you made a lot of mistakes, go back and review exactly what happened, because this is the kind of stuff you have to do in order to get better. All right, guys? All right, guys. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye.